Cancer is not just a medical condition. It is a seismic shift in the very landscape of a person's existence. When a doctor utters the word cancer, the world as you know it seems to stop on its axis. The air in the room changes, and suddenly, the future becomes a blurred lens of uncertainty. It is a life changing moment that ripples through every layer of a human being, affecting the body's complex biology, the mind's internal peace, and the entire structural stability of the family. Every year, millions of people across America and Europe face this diagnosis. In fact, in the United States alone, nearly 2 million new cases are diagnosed annually, while Europe accounts for nearly a quarter of the global cancer burden. But behind every single one of those cold statistics is a human being, a story of sudden, paralyzing fear, hidden reservoirs of strength, and a desperate, beautiful search for hope. Well, I'm Dr. Monica, and in today's comprehensive deep dive discussion, we're going to look into the profound reality of cancer. We will explore its biological roots, the hidden reasons why modern Western lifestyles are contributing to its meteoric rise, the grueling day to day reality of treatment, and the indispensable role of family and motivation in the healing process. Let's begin this journey of understanding because knowledge is the first step toward empowerment. To fight an enemy, you must first understand its nature. In the simplest terms, cancer occurs when the body's internal instruction manual, our DNA, gets corrupted. Our bodies are an architectural marvel composed of trillions of cells. Normally, these cells follow a strict, disciplined cycle. They grow, they divide to create new cells, and they die when they become old or damaged through a process called apoptosis. This programmed cell death is nature's way of ensuring that our organs remain healthy and functioning perfectly. Think of it as a quality control system in a factory. Cancer happens when this orderly process breaks down completely. Genetic changes, whether inherited or caused by external damage, interfere with this regulation. As a result, cells start to grow and divide without stopping, ignoring the body's chemical signals to cease. They become immortal in the worst way possible, refusing to die when they should. These rebel cells form masses of tissue called tumors. It is important to distinguish between benign tumors, which are generally harmless masses that stay in one place, and malignant tumors, which are truly cancerous. Malignant tumors are aggressive. They invade nearby tissues and can shed cells into the bloodstream or lymphatic system. The most dangerous characteristic of cancer is this ability to spread to distant organs, such as the lungs, liver, or brain, a process known as metastasis. While the biology is complex, the message is simple. Early awareness and timely intervention are the absolute keys to survival. When cancer is localized, it is a battle. Once it metastasizes, it becomes a systemic war. Statistics show that cancer rates are significantly higher in developed regions like North America and Western Europe compared to many other parts of the world. You might wonder why, in nations with the most advanced healthcare, the disease is so prevalent. The primary reason is actually a sign of success. People in these regions live significantly longer. Cancer is largely a disease of aging. As the decades pass, our cells have more time to accumulate genetic damage and mutations. Furthermore, developed nations have higher levels of industrial pollutants, radiation, and environmental toxins that our bodies must constantly filter. We live in an age of plastic, processed chemicals, and synthetic environments that our ancestors never had to navigate. Modern life has brought incredible convenience, but it has also brought a suite of carcinogenic habits that have become socially normalized. Our lifestyle is perhaps the most significant modifiable factor in cancer risk today. The standard American diet, or SAD, is a major culprit in this epidemic. Processed foods like sausages, bacon, and deli meats contain nitrates and preservatives classified by the World Health Organization as Group 1 carcinogens. When we consume these regularly, we are introducing DNA-damaging agents directly into our systems. Excessive consumption of red meat, especially when grilled or charred at high temperatures, releases chemicals like heterocyclic amines that have a direct link to colorectal cancers. High sugar intake is another silent driver. While sugar doesn't feed cancer in a simple way, it causes chronic spikes in insulin and IGF-1, which act like fertilizer for cell growth. This creates a state of chronic inflammation, a fertile soil in which cancer can take root and thrive. Then there is the obesity epidemic, which has reached crisis levels in the West. Obesity is not merely about aesthetic weight, it is a state of metabolic dysfunction. Excess body fat, particularly visceral fat around the organs, acts as an endocrine organ itself. It produces extra estrogen and a cocktail of inflammatory cytokines. This is why obesity is a leading cause of postmenopausal breast cancer, as well as colon and pancreatic cancers. Our bodies were designed for movement, yet the modern Westerner spends the majority of their day sitting at a desk, in a car, or on a couch. This sedentary behavior slows the metabolism and weakens the immune system's natural killer cells, whose job it is to hunt down and destroy early stage cancer cells before they become tumors. Smoking remains the number one preventable cause of cancer worldwide, particularly in the lungs, throat, and bladder. While traditional cigarette use has declined in some demographics, the rise of vaping and e-cigarettes continues to introduce a new generation of toxic chemicals and heavy metals into the human bloodstream. Even alcohol, which is so deeply ingrained in Western social rituals, is a known carcinogen. When the liver breaks down alcohol, it produces a toxic byproduct called acetaldehyde. This chemical causes DNA damage and prevents the body from repairing that damage, significantly increasing the risk of breast, liver, and esophageal cancers. Finally, the chronic high-pressure stress of Western professional life floods the body with cortisol. Over time, chronic stress suppresses the immune system and damages the body's natural defense mechanisms, making it harder for the body to maintain its internal cellular integrity. When a patient begins the journey of treatment, whether it is chemotherapy, radiation, surgery, or the newer immunotherapy, they enter a phase of intense physical and emotional exhaustion. Chemotherapy is often described as a scorched earth policy. It targets fast-growing cells, which is effective against cancer, but it unfortunately also attacks our hair follicles, skin, and stomach lining. This leads to the well-known side effects of hair loss, brittle nails, and severe debilitating nausea. Radiation, while more targeted, can cause deep, bone-weary fatigue that no amount of sleep can fix, along with localized skin burns and internal scarring. Many patients also struggle with what is known as chemo brain, a cognitive fog that makes it difficult to remember words, stay focused, or perform simple mental tasks. The psychological battle is often heavier than the physical one. Patients face scanxiety, the paralyzing, heart-racing fear that occurs in the days leading up to a follow-up scan. There is also a profound loss of identity. A person who was a CEO, a teacher, or a parent suddenly feels reduced to a patient or a case number. The uncertainty of the future becomes a constant companion. In many cases, the astronomical cost of modern cancer treatment creates financial toxicity, where the stress of medical debt can actually hinder a patient's physical recovery by keeping the body in a permanent state of fight or flight. However, staying motivated is possible, and science now confirms that a patient's mental state can directly influence their immune system's efficacy. This field of study, known as psychoneuroimmunology, shows that the brain and the immune system are in a constant two-way conversation. Motivation doesn't mean being falsely happy or ignoring the pain. It means finding the resilience to keep going. We encourage patients to use micro goals. Instead of looking at a years-long treatment plan, focus only on the next hour, the next glass of water, or the next short walk. These small victories build psychological momentum. Mindfulness, meditation, and deep breathing exercises are not just feel-good activities. They actively lower cortisol levels, allowing the immune system to reallocate its energy toward fighting the malignancy. Without a strong support system, the battle becomes nearly impossible to sustain. Family support is one of the strongest sources of healing we have. Families help by being emotionally present, by listening without the need to fix everything, and by taking over the administrative burdens of insurance, appointments, and daily chores. Kindness, patience, and simple presence give patients the emotional oxygen they need when they feel they are drowning. Surviving cancer is not the end of a story. It is the beginning of a new, often more meaningful chapter. After treatment ends, the new normal begins. Many survivors adopt permanent, radical lifestyle shifts to protect their hard-won health. This includes anti-inflammatory nutrition, focusing on plant-heavy diets and cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, kale, and Brussels sprouts. These vegetables contain sulforaphane, a compound known in laboratory settings to inhibit cancer cell growth. Regular physical movement is also a cornerstone of survivorship, with studies showing that consistent exercise can reduce the risk of recurrence by up to 40% for certain cancer types. But perhaps most importantly, survivorship requires constant vigilance. Routine checkups and screenings are the price of continued freedom from the disease. Cancer is undeniably a tough journey, perhaps the toughest any human being can face. It tests every fiber of a person's being, their physical strength, their mental fortitude, and their spiritual beliefs. But we must remember that we are living in the greatest age of medical advancement. Immunotherapy is now teaching the body's own immune system to recognize and kill cancer cells that were once invisible. Targeted therapies are attacking specific genetic mutations with surgical precision. There is more hope today than there has ever been in human history. No one has to face this alone. With awareness, proactive medical care, lifestyle modifications, and the unwavering strength of family and community, hope always remains. I'm Dr. Monica. Thank you for spending this time with me to understand this complex journey. Please, take care of your health. It is your greatest wealth and your most important investment. To understand the scope of the challenge, we must look at the specific types of cancer that dominate the Western landscape. Breast cancer remains the most common diagnosis among women in America and Europe. While genetics, such as the BRCA1 and BRCA2 genes, play a role, the majority of cases are influenced by environmental factors. The Western lifestyle, characterized by late-age pregnancies, shorter durations of breastfeeding, and hormone replacement therapies, has contributed to this rise. However, the success story here is early detection. Mammography and increased awareness mean that when breast cancer is caught in its earliest stages, the 5-year survival rate is now nearly 99%. This is a testament to the power of screening. Colorectal cancer is another major concern, often referred to as a lifestyle cancer. It is directly tied to the Western obsession with processed meats and a lack of dietary fiber. Fiber is essential because it acts as a broom, sweeping toxins out of the digestive tract. Without it, carcinogens sit in the colon for longer periods, causing damage to the lining. In recent years, we have seen a worrying trend of colorectal cancer appearing in younger adults under the age of 50. This is a loud wake-up call regarding our dietary habits and sedentary lifestyles. Prostate cancer in men and lung cancer in both genders continue to claim hundreds of thousands of lives. While lung cancer is heavily tied to smoking, we are seeing an increase in non-smokers developing the disease, likely due to radon gas exposure in homes and general air pollution in urban centers. Every type of cancer has its own unique set of challenges, but the foundational principles of prevention remain the same: reduce inflammation, support the immune system, and stay vigilant with medical checkups. We must also discuss the role of the gut microbiome in cancer prevention and recovery. Emerging research suggests that the trillions of bacteria living in our digestive tract play a massive role in training our immune system. A diet high in artificial sweeteners and preservatives destroys this delicate ecosystem, while a diet rich in fermented foods and diverse fibers strengthens it. A healthy gut can actually make cancer treatments, like immunotherapy, more effective. This is the future of oncology, looking at the body as a whole, interconnected system rather than just a collection of symptoms. As we look toward the future, the goal is to move from sick care to true health care. This means moving away from a system that only reacts when a tumor is found and toward a system that empowers individuals to create an internal environment where cancer simply cannot thrive. It means demanding cleaner air, purer water, and honest food labeling. It means prioritizing mental health as a physical necessity. Cancer is a formidable foe, but it is not invincible. It thrives in silence, in neglect, and in isolation. But it falters in the face of early detection, it weakens against a resilient spirit, and it is defeated through the combined power of science and love. Every survivor you meet is a living testament to the fact that the human spirit is stronger than any rogue cell. I want to leave you with this thought. Your body is a masterpiece of biological engineering. It wants to heal. It wants to survive. Every day, Your immune system is working quietly in the background to protect you. Your job is to give it the tools it needs, the right fuel, the right movement, and the right mindset. Whether you are a patient, a caregiver, or someone simply looking to prevent this disease, remember that every small, healthy choice you make today is a vote for your future self. I am Dr. Monica, and I am honored to be a part of your health journey. Stay informed, stay proactive, and most importantly, stay hopeful. Thank you for listening, and until next time, take care of yourself and those you love.